they come to you. Our chief content officer, quality control, Tony. Tony was based in the US. He came to Ghana, checked on what we were doing, kept bothering me. He said, I want to work with you guys. I like your vision. I want to do something. I'm like, what? I don't know what I'll put you to do. So I didn't mind him. 2 years, he came back again. Oh, Charlie, you could do something. I didn't mind him. He came back, and I'm like, okay, no, what do you? So I just want to be following you everywhere you go. I'm like, okay. Kept following him everywhere we go. Then we started working. He said, well, oh, but it looks like you don't have somebody dedicated to the data, the content development, managing the content managers, the teachers. You know, because it takes too much time from you. Can I take that on? I'm like, okay. He worked with the tech team. They changed the back end, improve things, make things easy. Today he's our chief content officer. He came to me, right? Kwame Budu, our operations. It's been 5 years. We're telling you one day you work for eCampus, you come and help us. He was in FMCG, right? Moved to health insurance. From health insurance, he got an opportunity to go into the education space, Blue Crest. He said, no. I said, no, go. It's getting you closer to eCampus. He went to handle admissions there for almost 2 years. Now he's with us, with all this experience. Subscriptions and admissions are similar, right? So he can go out there. So they come. We don't have a formula that we are looking for this person. No. They come. Gradually, they come. Sidumisu. We wanted to work with SEO Africa on employability. That time she was CEO. She didn't even make time to see me. I was working with her assistant. I went to give a talk at Harvard University in the US. She was among the crowd. Called me. I'm like, oh. I went to see her. I said, you didn't even give me audience. Oh, she's sorry. She was busy. Now she's no more with SEO Africa. She's back in London trying to, do one or two. So what's up? I'm like, okay. She and her husband joined, invested, came to the advisory board, moved from the advisory board to come help with chief operations, created our entire organogram, job descriptions, contracts, everything for us, which is what we now use to recruit. We didn't pay anything. She invested her own money, her time. They come. So that's what I said. If you can show something, people, every human being is smart. Trust me. They got brains. So when they see, subconsciously they will say, no, this thing has a future. I want to be a part of it. And they will find a way to be a part of it.
So what I'm understanding is, if you are quite clear about your vision, where you're headed, and your value proposition,
well communicated.
Clear cut.
It doesn't have to be unique.
Doesn't have to be
well communicated.
Well communicated. The
you
functions,
features,
everything.
Finance, human resource, opportunities, interviews like this. You attract everything. It just has to be. Who doesn't want to be a part of something that's great? You can be watching a football match, right? You're a Ghanaian, but the way the Brazilians are playing, you're like, no, this team, Brazil will win. It's obvious. The fact that you're a Ghanaian doesn't mean that. No. Yeah, you wish Ghana will win, but you are watching the game like, no. Oh, second half, if you had played like we would have got something. Sure, and people will come to you.
I see. So that's how you attract.
That's how you attract.
How do you retain? Most small business, small to medium-sized companies tend to struggle with retaining staff because you are always being sort of used as a stepping stone to get to the bigger organizations, right? How do you retain staff?
Back to transparency, right? Show them the organogram. So they themselves can see how they can grow within the organization. Let them understand the whole setup, all right? And how important they are in that machinery. Because your organogram is like your assembling plant, right? Or your manufacturing line. Every person in that organogram contributes to the final product. When the person knows how valuable they are in that whole machinery, when they walk around and they see the logo eCampus and they picture their role in why this is valuable, they will stay. People only leave when they feel they are not being useful. And that's because you are not giving them enough information for them to know they are useful. You don't have to wake up and Kwame, you are very useful. No, that's not what I'm talking about. Let them understand how their job description, right, interconnects with the Chief Innovations Officer's job description. All right? And how that leads to what? The marketing guy. And then the content manager and the data entry person. When they see that connect, they will see, hey, Charlie, me a person, I will stay here. Because where I'm going, I don't know how they even value me. So that's how we've managed to maintain, most of the people that are with us. And since we started eCampus, the only person who's left is our former CFO, right? And he had to go continue his education, do his ACCA and all, and it was very demanding. So I was like, okay, you go and come back. When you are done with everything, you can always come back. Right? So we've been with the core team since 2014. Nobody has left.
And we've never fired anyone?
No.
Since, Wow.
We have a lot of content managers who work mostly part-time. So you come, if you upload one question with the answer and the reason why this is the answer, you get 50 pesos. Simple. So you want more money, you upload more questions.
Not
you want more money, you're a teacher. Right? You work for eCampus as a fellow. You bring your notes. Each topic will pay you this amount. How detailed your notes are. They have diagrams, they have images. We'll pay you. So no nothing like you come and sit in the office and you do nothing at the end of the month, you have to pay. That's where the agitation starts from. So if you don't upload anything, I don't owe you any money. So sit at your home and we work remotely. Most like people in Kumasi, Dakwadi, some of them I've not even seen them before. You've uploaded your content, quality control checked it, your momo has cried.
Seeing that you've not fired anyone before, well, by the way, maybe I should sign up for the teaching a bit and start getting paid, but it's not talk about
like the way we structure how we work, right? It will be difficult. You leave yourself. Nobody will come and fire you. Because if you need 1,000 CDs by the end of the month, and you know that if I upload notes, videos, podcasts, past questions, I'll be making around 5 CD if I upload all those things. So times how many do I need to do to get my 1,000 CDs? And then the next month I decide not to do anything. eCampus don't get any problem. You're okay, chill with the 1,000. When it's finished, you want to do something. Come, content there, plenty. Come and upload. But if we had gone the traditional Octodus way, you are employed, come and sit in this office, we turn on air conditioning on you, electricity, water dispenser, toilet roll, you flash, that'd be cost. And you are not uploading the thing. Then I'll fire you. But you are using your own toilet, your own water, your own electricity, and you didn't do the work. Okay.
It's on you.
It's on you.
So
I don't want to create a situation where I have to fire you. So we structure how we work in a way that I don't have to be in that position.
Doesn't even create those problems.
Exactly.
What I want to find out about now is, this is a discussion I'm having with all the businesses that are either working remotely or want to go remote. How do you manage the productivity of remote workers?
It's a difficult one. It's more of when they know the importance of what they are doing and how it affects everybody. That helps, right?
Right.
So full remote, because we went remote in 2013, and we stayed remote until 2019 when we got this office at Adenta here, a huge place. And the reason we got the office was the productivity of the content managers, those who upload content, was not appreciable.
Appreciable, yeah.
So Tony said no. He said, let's rent an office. Bring all the content managers. At least 3 times in a week. Let them come physical. Stand on them to upload their questions. It will reduce the errors, it will reduce the quality control issues. I'm like, okay. So we rented a place. And trust me, the productivity was very high. They were coming only 3 times in a week. Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We provide food, we provide the transport, just come. And that was very effective. as if we knew the pandemic was coming. So by 2020, with the pandemic, we had a lot of content. So then we had to go back remote because the pandemic demanded that we
yeah.
So we told the landlord we can't continue paying, and then we've come back to remote. But that short period, the productivity for the content upload and all of that was very effective. So we still maintain that. At least once a week, they come here.
So how you managed productivity of remote workers was through a hybrid working system. Would that be fair to say?
System, yeah. So you do, you know, you make it such a way that they look forward to come to the office because they have a lot of things they want to find out, all the challenges they have, all the frustrations they have. They know that on Wednesday, Cecil will be there. So when I come, Tony is there. I can then voice out. And it's not only me, everybody is there. So everybody will voice out their own. Sometimes your problem, somebody will have the same problem. They will talk. By the time we explain it, oh, it's the same thing, now I know. And you build that connection. So when they go home and there are issues, they call among themselves. The PDF, they don't know how to do it. Oh, then they teach each other. So it doesn't even come back to the office as an issue. Right? But that works well when the people understand their value within the supply chain or the value chain or the organogram. I believe from my experience that naturally people are good. Like people want to be useful. People want to be celebrated. They want to do something significant. Don't set them up to fail. Don't set them up to fail. Make it easy for them to be recognized. Right? And make achievements so minimal. All right. Upload a question. You can celebrate that. Upload the answers to the question. We can celebrate that. And upload the reason why the correct answer is the correct answer. That's 3 celebrations. You can do a whole party. Now multiply it by 7,000 questions. That's a festival. Let him feel important. So if the whole day upload only 2 questions with their answers and the reason why, and he goes to the app and see it nicely displayed, you add more. Don't make it like, at the end of the month, you have to make sure that you upload 40,000 questions. So the guy is halfway through the month, he's nowhere near, he's already demoralized. But he knows that even one question, he'll be celebrated. So he knows his value. You see the dynamics?
I get it.
Because me, myself, that's what I like. Small celebration, celebrate little success. It keeps you going. Don't wait till the end of year. No. Every day be party. You know? And because we have dashboard, we're able to track. Oh, today only 4 people paid for eCampus. How do we change that narrative? Right? Our conversion rates are still in single digits. We want to make it double digits. What do? We all brainstorm. Oh, let's try this. Okay, we'll go and try it. This one didn't quite work. So when it works, we are all happy that it was Kwame and Waselassi's idea. You people remember, and you should be vocal about it. Don't go ahead because don't make it look like, oh, it was the executive, management. No, it was Kwame's idea, and it worked. Make Kwame feel good. Then they will stay.
You know how you've spoken about having friends in the business starting on it. Now it seems like you are a very tightly knit team with like strong bonds. You know, do you employ family, or how do you navigate that space? Do you employ family members? Do you have a lot of family and relatives working in the business, or don't your relatives, family and friends come to you and beg you to employ them? I mean, most entrepreneurs in our part will complain about it. You know, as soon as they see that you have a business, a going concern, all the aunties and uncles and church folks and all that coming to you.
If I say no, that would be a lie, because we're Ghanaians, and that's what we do. Now, they come a lot, but I've made it very simple. Entry level at eCampus is content management. Everybody must learn how to upload questions, upload content, upload videos onto eCampus, because that's what we are giving people to use to generate the intelligence, which is our value proposition. So, oh, Cecil, why don't you take your cousin to the Wednesday? Oh, he can start tomorrow, right? So join our training session, If you upload one question, the answer and the reason why is 50 pesos. If you upload a note, you get another 30 pesos. If you upload this, or if you're sharp, you get a cool 5 CD. So start. Do you have a laptop? Yes. So, or how about internet and all of that? It's all in the 50 pesos. So look sharp. You get it? Mm-hmm. So you sit down, if you are serious,
you do it.
So if you don't do it, your mother, oh, so your brother, the work, how is he going? Say, he's doing very well. He has done 4 questions so far. I say, only 4, that's what we saw. Like, so, see, when you create a framework that gives autonomy, right, decision making, right, control to the employee, he'll fire himself, he'll promote himself, he'll make money. You will not make money. And you still be the nice guy. You smile with him and all of that. You can't blame you.
It's all within your power.
It's you. So I'll call, why is it that the questions or the notes, are you having problems? Oh, I'm fine. Yeah, I'm busy, then that's okay. So when you are less busy, you can continue.
His question is borderlining more on the systemic, how the system stifles some people. We cannot completely eradicate it. So you're looking at the systemic view, and then he's talking about it from a micro perspective.
Out of the system.
Independent of the system. From what he's saying, be inventive, be daring. If you are inventive, you have a solution, be daring about it, take it, work out.
Communicate it. It's because people don't know. Because all I've been doing, people say, oh, you are fighting education. And then, no, I'm giving an alternative. They say you are fighting the education system. I'm not fighting it. You can't fight it. It's been there before I was even born. So let it be there. But I'm giving you an alternative, a benchmark. They can both run in parallel. To go like, okay, so how do you want to achieve it? So, we are in this country and you tell me you have a British system of education, right? You have American system and you have the Ghana Education Service, right? And so we have eCampus too. So what's your problem? eCampus system of education. Just like the British system.
American system.
So I'm just giving people options. So I'm not going to go and fight UGS. No, that's your system. So the eCampus system of education. So, and if I'm a parent, then now I know parents who are taking their children to school where they are doing all the system. If you go to Christian High, you do the GS and you do the Cambridge too. Because they don't know. So then add the eCampus too. And the eCampus is for 15 CDs a month per subject. So pay. So I'm not fighting you. I've been through your system. I wanted it to do some things for me. It couldn't do. And I don't think it's going to be able to do anytime soon. So I've created that option. Maybe nobody will want it. Maybe everybody will want it. Maybe 50% will want it. At least. So far, over 50,000 people are using it. So they want it. And it's growing. If I had said, oh, the system is too big, I want to, then those 50,000 people who are using eCampus now, they would have been disappointed. I would have been of a great disservice to them. Right? So don't fight the system. You can't. Right? Take yourself out of it and create a power. Over time, when the people see the value the power provides, they themselves will move. They themselves will move. Then these people, when they see the exodus, then they will call you now to have a conversation. And then you can negotiate from a position of strength. Say, okay, I can rescue the system by doing blended learning. Then let's merge this. But now, they won't listen to you.
I think one of the strongest things that come out from everything that he says is that be valuable, have value, and
know how to communicate.
It would come. And so
and be non-apologetic about it. Like, they can call you whatever they want to call you. Don't be apologetic about it. This is you. This is what you've achieved. Communicate it. Let people know.
So that would shift me towards marketing and sales, because I know you recently went to Dakar. You are eCampus. You're now doing in French and all of that. So how do you approach sales and marketing? Are you do you target the institutions or the people, or you do both? And I mean, most economies are strong. At least in Ghana now, we are being told about the the Ukraine war.
Ghana and Ukraine war. I don't think we have the resource to fight Ukraine. The Russians that have resources.
Yeah, Russian-Ukraine war, and then what? the post-COVID and some other, global geopolitical concerns that's stifling the economy. So sales and marketing is quite tough for most businesses. Is that your experience or?
So traditionally, from the very beginning of eCampus, we haven't really spent on marketing.
And you got to 50,000 subscribers.
We don't even have a marketing department.
Wow.
We're now at the organic ground trying to build one. It's been mostly word of mouth and referrals so far. Now that we want to actively do sales, not necessarily marketing.
So if we look on your balance sheet, your financial statements for the past, from 2004, no marketing expense.
No.
Wow.
You see sales and maybe a bit of
It'll be business development.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Because, you see, how often do education institutions do marketing? Have you noticed? Education is not something you market extensively. You get what I mean? You do strategic positioning. You see, everybody knows that I need education. So maybe because of the space we are in, we do not have to do that. All right. Instead, what we rather like to do is to deal with decision-making bodies to kind of adopt us, which gives us some kind of endorsement.
Right.
With which we can say, oh, even the central bank for the rural and community banks have adopted eCampus as the standardized compliance assessment and training tool for all the 148 rural banks. I was like, eCampus? I said, yes. Oh, wow. Okay. Who is more security conscious than a banking system? Who is more, you get my point, worried about errors, issues, compliance, you know what I mean?
SOPs and whatnot.
Who is more than the banking system? And they've adopted, they tell you might be doing something important. If I wanted to do marketing to all the 148 rural banks myself, I can't. The money I'll spend traveling to talk to them, I'll probably not even convert up to 10. But once you talk to the regulator, which took 4 years to close, and they understood the value of them being able to sit at their place, pick any employer at random from any of the rural banks and tell their compliance status in a flash. That's what they paid for. So if I come to you now, the association of what? Private secondary schools or private junior high schools, and I talk to the executive and I say, you see what ARBAPS Bank has done? Can you, as an association, adopt eCampus as best practices? I know as an association you cannot enforce anything, but as best practices among yourselves, encourage them to deploy eCampus so that at random you can know the best performing students, and as association you can prepare them well and keep you. They'll be like, let's think about it. Okay, do a few pilots. Before you know it, all private junior high and secondary schools are using the technology. So that's, maybe you call that business development, or you call it strategic positioning, strategic marketing. That's what we do. Right? And when employees begin to see the value of eCampus, they pay for their kids. Because they are using it at their office to do customer service training, compliance, and then they get notification that, oh, mathematics for junior high, integrated science for senior high, employability score for marketing jobs for university. And they have kids, they have dependents. You know the child that will come and tell mommy, because
the parents.
I'm putting you on eCampus. Because even me at my workplace is helping me. They have maths, they have English, everything. So sit on it. I want you to get 40,000 points by the end of the 3 months. And she or the father or the mother has the capacity to pay. So I make my revenue. And he's able to track the child per the points and the performance to see value for the money they are paying. So that's how we have been working to penetrate the market. And then when we do something significant, we post on social media, but we don't have that active, everyday posting thing. Yeah. We will get there over time. when you have built a certain base, you know, if you can close the association of private schools, now you have the rural banks. You can add more, the health education, for example, nursing, midwifery, school of hygiene, pharmaceutical. If you can close all of that, then you have a base to market to. I don't know if you get me now. Then when you mount a billboard at the strategic position, you know that these eyes will see it. And these are people who are already using the platform, so they will renew their subscriptions every day by reinforcement. But now spending that kind of money. So before I was born, anytime I say this, I get a bit passionate about it and very angry. But there was a director at Ghana Education Service. He and his team, or she and his team, decided that smartphones were not ideal, or smart devices were not ideal for secondary school students to be using on campus. All right. So up to today, you cannot give your child a smart device to take to school if it's in a boarding school. So that automatically cuts people like eCampus out. All right. Yeah, they will argue over their computer labs, but what is the ratio? The number of students and the number of computers that are in the lab. You know what I mean? That ratio will not work. So until some of these fundamental policies or decrees or decisions that were made are reversed, a child in a boarding school can only use eCampus when they are home. All right? But if the school adopts it, then we can scale the lab. We can have alternative ways. Look at, okay, how do we get them to bring their devices, all right? But we lock the device at the MAC address level. They cannot do anything apart from eCampus, calculator, and dictionary. Then we can start having those conversations. So, yes, you are bringing your child. When they come, they open their chop box, their things. This is the phone they brought. Then we put a pen drive there to reprogram the phone so that you can only do this. When they vacate it and they go, we reprogram it back to what you can do. Then we can start having those conversations. But the complete band, which is still what is in force, makes it difficult to penetrate those markets. But we're still having those conversations. And gradually,
Hopefully we
will
get to a point
Ban Ray do tried with the one laptop per child, right? Thanos came to try and continue it with the RNG laptops. Wasn't really sustained because there was not a lot of content on it. When Osla came, she was pushing one laptop per child again. Didn't really go well. We're still working on it. So the intention is there. They know, like the system has realized that there's a bug that they need to debug. But as to how they should go about it, I think they've not really figured it out yet. So people like we at eCampus are very willing to step in. Even if we can have those guaranteed markets, we don't mind producing our own hardware, our own devices, putting the eCampus on it, locking everything, and distributing to all the students on admission, right? And factor it into the subscription. So by the time they are done 4 years in school or 3 years in school, they have paid for the device. So we are ready to do those models, but I cannot get the board to approve that kind of expenditure if I don't have a ready market. Right. So if all the secondary schools, the boarding schools, even if all those who participate in the Brilliant Science and Math quiz, if they all agree that this is the direction we want to go, we don't mind. We can invest in those hardware. Right. And when the hardwares get damaged, get them themselves to repair it. Let's supervise them. So by the time they are done, they'll be much more better than the guys at Circle, and they may end up being the next phone company. You never know. So these are things that we need to think about as a nation. And as a people, and see which direction do we want to go.
Okay.
Because Singapore is at the top, simply because they find a way to integrate these devices into their classrooms. Singapore is at the top for maths and science. And Ghana, I don't know how well we're doing there, but we'll get there.
Technology is rapidly evolving. AI, machine learning, all these like next gen technologies that are coming to the scene. That coupled with social media, how has that have impacted your operations?
Operations, the way we define it, would not be impacted directly with these technologies. Right? But innovation will be impacted. At eCampus, operation is your day-to-day. Like, okay, we need to make sure that we get 10 people to pay subscriptions today. So what needs to happen? Let's do reverse engineering. The person has paid. Okay. If you go back, how did they pay? Through Momo. Okay. You go back, what did they pay for? Nursing. Okay. How many points do they have so far? Is this their first payment? Is this their next payment? Right? Okay. So have content be updated? Can we add more content? So that's how we look at operations. So every day, to get that conversion, there must be activities. So that's how we define operations.
Right.
Right. So blockchain, artificial intelligence will not necessarily impact that flow, but it will impact our innovation process. Right.
Right.
So we are constantly looking at these technologies and how we can adapt them to our industry with things like ethics, you know what I mean, privacy issues, right? Because the technologies are there, there's so much we can do, but you have to put in context. Will it be ethical? Are we prepared? Is the population prepared to allow eCampus to integrate brain-computer interface, which we've been contemplating since 2017, to integrate brain-computer interface into eCampus, so that when you are looking at the screen, we're reading your brain waves, monitoring your attention, your meditation, your comprehension, and using that to feed you what kind of content you should have. Would you feel comfortable if I get all that from your child? Which means I can practically manipulate what they think. BCI is there, but is it something? Or we deploy BCI so that we prevent people from going to sit in a hall to write an exam. They can write it at home on their laptop. But because there's BCI, we are reading your brainwave. So if anybody else comes to sit behind you to help you, there'll be interference with that brainwave. So we know you cheated. If you take your face off for too long, that means you are cheating. Then we stop the exam or you lose some points. So no need to travel to a big place, a big hall, invigilators to write an exam. Brain computer interface can achieve that. But will you be comfortable because I'm storing all that data? All right? These are the kind of things. Blockchain, we started working on blockchain in 2017 as well. So at Singularity University, what I did was exponential technologies. That's the postgraduate diploma I did. And these are the exponential technologies. Artificial intelligence, augmented reality, virtual reality, blockchain, brain-computer interface, you know, nanotechnology. These are the things I studied. So we had contemplated how to bring these things into eCampus. But there's still strong, traditional reservations that our market may not be ready for. Those are the things. You saw how we pushed back ride-hailing apps before they became a part of us. So maybe when the brand gets to a certain position, a certain acceptance, then you can slide those things in and they will not really complain. It's like Apple will force you to do things. Let's say they don't want you to plug earpiece into your own phone again. So because it's Apple, the brand has gone to a point where they can.
Yeah, that powerful, they can dictate.
And now they're
those
fighting the EU because the EU is enforcing that they use the Type C and they don't want to. But I don't think our brand is that strong yet to push some of this
regulators,
like life-changing things onto people, because we can do it with things we are contemplating. I mean, blockchain, for example, the points you earn on eCampus, right? When we scrutinize them with artificial intelligence and we take out all the cheats, right? We want to put the real points into a chain so that you can now trade those points for things like what? Mobility. So if I want to go to school with an Uber, I should be able to pay for that journey with my eCampus points. Blockchain. So it's just like what? You are just tokenizing it. So you are doing that more like a currency. All those things are there, but how would the Bank of Ghana react to that?
Yeah,
you get where I'm coming from?
Now I see how you talk about how technology impacts innovation rather than
Another operation. So, those are the kind of things. And even with Uber, which we started conversations with some years back, how many points will determine 1 kilometer ride? So all those things come into play. But once we figure those things out and you roll out, you learn from the consumers and then you perfect it.
Perfect it from there. The year is about to end. Most businesses, we are in what, Q4 of 2022. So most businesses will be, it's gone. The year just flew by. Most businesses will be ending the year by, going into strategy workshops, strategy sessions, planning for next year, what we are going to do, setting our goals, and then go. How do you approach strategy formulation?
It's an everyday thing. It's not like the years come to an end, so we're going for a strategy session. Those board meetings will be more of just consolidating and having some paperwork to say, okay, yes, this is where we want to go. But strategy is a daily thing. It's a daily thing. Okay. So I'll give you an example. It was on Monday. Myself and Kwame, head of operations, we went to do training for ARB, Apex Bank, the trainers to onboard the rural banks. So Kwame is there and he's taking government. He went to SHS, taking the government's test on eCampus. Then he comes like, when I submit, it marks up to this question, and then this one doesn't mark them. He showed me the time, like, I know what the problem is. That means the content manager who uploaded the question forgot to select the expected answer for it, so the system will not continue. I was like, but I should mark it. I said, no, we did it that way so say we can trace and knows it is the problem. So I just went to the laptop, went to the back and showed him. Then we looked which one do you think would be the correct answer. So it was D, and then we selected it. Then he went and said, the problem is that I said, we changed it at practice. You are doing time test, and the two are not connected. So we have to delete the question and redo. We went and realized that we don't even need to delete. We just have to select the correct answer there. So from a strategy point of view, we need to link practice questions to what? Test questions. So that in the future, if you correct it here, it corrects there. This happened between CEO and head of operations. CTO wasn't there. So now in our meeting, we're like, this is what happened. So CTO, can we connect practice questions to test questions? So that when it's updated here, it synchronizes. Okay, then they'll queue it as part of the technical things to be done. That's how we do strategy.
Daily as we go.
When you accumulate all of that and you go to your quarterly board meetings, and you say, okay, what are some of the things, what was strategically happening around quality control? And you say, now we are linking practice questions directly with test questions so that when it's updated here, they're like, that's very intelligent. How did he come about? Because he was trying it out and it came out.
Yeah, so I think the next thing I was moving on was strategy implementation, because my favorite part of strategy implementation is this. CEO sits at the top, formulates with C-level executives, front-end folks doing the actual work. There's a gap. How do you bridge that gap? And how do you ensure that strategy implementation is happening? What you say in the boardroom is what is being implemented. So
the way it happens at eCampus, before it's the other way around. It's not CEO or the boss at the top and make a decision comes out. No. The frontline guys pick feedback from the consumer, the user, right? And then push it up to the board.
Okay.
That's how it works at eCampus. So when board meeting is coming, all right, every unit, so we have board meetings every quarter. So we know that day we are going to tell the board something, get approval so we can execute. All right. So content managers, what are your challenges? Right. So I remember Gideon. Gideon is the one who manages geography, government, and I think it's another subject. So what is your problem? Everybody, you have to tell me what I should go and tell the board and what I should secure for you as an individual. So Gideon is like the back end when you are adding questions and answers, especially the answers. When you add a new field, right? Instead of typing A, B, C, why is it that when you click the next field, if I just come with a B already typed, so that he go fit put the answer. That will save him some what 2-3 seconds. So he will increase the number of questions and answers he can upload in a day, so that he can make more money. That's automation. You want us to automate some of the petty things, because you're adding an answer A, B, C, D, right? So if I click add field, when it comes, the A should be there already with the dot and the space. So I have to just put the answer, right? But now he has to type the A dot space, B dot space. It chop like 4 seconds. That's his problem. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. So that climbs up to CTO. CTO assigns it to the back-end developers. Then they automate it. How much would it cost for that automation to be done? Maybe it will cost $2,000. So that becomes part of the budget that goes to board for approval. So we don't sit and assume, no. You come down to because he's the one executing. What will make your life different at eCampus? And don't forget that he makes money when he does questions. So the 50 pesos, no. If it's taking him 4 minutes, it's too much. He wants to like bring it to 1 minute and make it 50 pesos. That's his problem. But that has helped us improve and make our backend more efficient, reduce errors. So that is how we implement strategy. Because the strategy is coming from the people.
In the front, yeah.
Right? I told you about me and Kwame with the question. So now we know that it will get to tech. And tech will say, okay, to implement all these things that have come randomly for everything, we need a budget of 50,000. So that's what goes to board. And board will justify it. You justify it with all these stories, how it even came about. So hardly will board say no. Be like, okay, approve that. Do we have the money? We'll do it. Because that will help you. So that'll be how
They implement.
we go around strategy. And it's not like we are too conscious about this is strategy. No. Just be English where they give up. Anyway, no one that told the only 2 books I bought are Pro Strategy and Financial Management. I cannot downplay it a bit, but that is how we approach strategy.
Most of the people who watch these interviews, particularly students, young entrepreneurs, they keep telling me that successful entrepreneurs, or those that are doing well, have done well over a long period of time, you guys won't tell the truth. But there are some shady parts that make people successful. Or for instance, if you are going to be successful in a part of the world, you have to dabble in some, you may dabble in things that are unethical but legal to get forward. I don't know what your take is on that. Like, can you make it out in this part of the world the clean way?
Yes. And that's what we're trying to do, right? So we don't do kickbacks. We don't try to influence. We don't try that, because you see, when you do that, then you owe the person a favor. It's going to come back and bite you, and you don't want to create those precedents. So it will take you longer to try and do things clean and not sabotage, do some back deals here and there. It will take you longer to get those things done. But the longer it takes, the better it becomes. Anything that happens too fast collapses too fast. All right. So I wouldn't say shady. I won't use shady, but I think the word I can use, difficult decisions. They're very difficult decisions you have to make.
I wanted to learn about work-life balance, because that's one of the areas that most entrepreneurs and business owners, owner-managers of SMEs struggle with. So it's either your relationship with your partner has been affected because you are working too much and they are complaining, you're not getting enough time for your friends and family. How do you make sure that you go hard and work hard and chase your dreams, your vision, work on your company, and still manage to, spend enough time with family, friends, have a decent work-life balance?
So I feel the concept of work-life balance is great, that you work and then when you have time also for family, for yourself. The concept is great, but I don't think in reality there's anything like that. Now, the way I perceive work is an everyday thing. All right. There is no specific place or time for work. That's me. Everywhere, every time, I can work once I have my phone. Okay, so I don't have time to sit and go through emails that I'm doing. No, I'm there. I'm having a conversation with you. I'm in a car going somewhere. I take my phone. I see the notification. I respond to it immediately. The work is done. Right? Can be playing with the kids. All right. Then I remember something. Right. I send the boy, go and bring daddy's laptop. Sit down with him. Daddy, what I do? Oh, I'm doing this work. I have to do. I just remembered. Ah, okay. So what does it mean? I've done the work. I won't say, oh, I have to wait tomorrow 7 o'clock to 9. No.
Like that distinction between this is
I don't
work,
have
this
is family. I don't
family,
know.
this is life.
Everything is everything. You see where I'm coming from. Everything is everything. So I don't have that clear distinction. I'll be sitting with the boys in the evening. No, we hang out, we are chatting, and I'm on the phone. I'm working. Right? And I pause. I thought, oh, that was so long. After everything, I see you. How are your wife? Yeah. I bury my head again. I'm working. You come and I'm reviewing a TOR. A TOR. I'm making comments, sending what's up to the group that actually work on this. We have to submit next week. We did do the work. So I don't have a clear distinction personally. So I don't know if that's the balance I have, or that's not the imbalance. But
that's how you go about it.
That's how it works. It puts strains on some relationships, especially the extended family. You know, not you and your wife and kids. That one you can contain it a bit, but then your mom, your dad, your grandma, your aunties. You know, it looks like almost every time they call you, you are busy, and then you say you call them back, but you tend to forget, right? So that one, what I do is maybe once every 2 months, 3 months, go to them, go to Ho, go to Jolly Copper, go to Winnie Bar, spend 2 days, go with the kids, go deal with your father. And those 2 days is very valuable to them, and they know they will see you again like another 1 year. I try to do that to balance, but with the nuclear family, they have to get used to it. This is the father you have, and this is the husband you have, so find a way around it.
Okay. Two groups of people watching you, because I get these questions a lot. So say I have you in front of, in a room, entrepreneurs running, starting up, those that have run their startup for 2 years, students that are just graduating, those that'll be, I've graduated and are still looking for work, coming out of their national service, wanting to go down the path of entrepreneurship, starting their own organizations. Perhaps they've had not such an amazing academic, background, or maybe they have. What would be your advice to them wanting to go down the entrepreneurship path?
So, to advise those people, or I want to know how they will answer this question. Then I will know how to advise them. If you are left with 1,000 cities, all right, and you have to choose between paying your child's school fees and your employee salary, with the 1,000, that's all you have. Which one will you do? I'll pay my employee salary and let my child sit at home to make revenue, and I get paid and go to school. If you say you pay your child's school fees and not your employee salary, then you don't have a company, then you can't be an entrepreneur. Forget it. That's how I'll advise. I will always pay. I'll let the child sit at home. Sit home. When you come, the school is there. We'll go. Or I'll go and talk to the school and say, let me owe you. I'll come and pay later. If you are getting on Tennessee, my employee must be paid. Because if it doesn't work, there will be no money coming for your future school fees. If I pay this one now and the employee is not paying, you go, that means that's the last school fees I can ever pay. I've lost both. So the fresh graduate, the entrepreneur, if they can make that decision genuinely and choose the employee over your own child and your wife, then you're an entrepreneur, you're ready. Because the stress they'll give you at home, if you can manage that stress, watch their face and tell them. And I tell my wife the same thing, like, wait, this one is for the company. But we don't have this at home. Else that when this one within 30 days, this will multiply, and we can have more of that at home to deal with. If you can't do that, then I'm sorry, you don't have a business. You're not ready.
Interesting advice. What about the regulators of SMEs and then the regulators of all things that affect SMEs? For instance, CEO of Ghana Enterprise Agency, Ministry of Trade and Industry, you know, Ministry of New Business Development, all these regulators, policymakers. What would you say to them from your experience and the position that you're in?
We need those institutions, all right? We need them. But what I wish they were good at would be collaboration instead of control. What they are doing is just trying to control, and they are mostly behind the curve. You know what I mean? They are mostly behind the curve. Right? But if they collaborate, we'll probably be having this brain-computer interface conversations at serious symposiums, serious workshops, to understand whether this is where, you know, exam or practices should be dealt with. Is that how we want to go about it? They are not having those conversations. But let me announce that eCampus has brain computer interface. They'll sue me the next morning and say, hey, you cannot do that. It's against the human right of the what do you mean it's against the human? So what I do, you're not having the conversation. I've gone ahead to do it. And now back and forth, and now they have to work towards me, and now me, I'll end up writing the same policy for them, explaining, and then they'll go to court, I'll pay some money, and then later they say, okay, it's allowed. So what do like really? And you're not being proactive, and you're just destroying innovation. So there should be more collaborative, all right? Maybe you don't have the resource, but at least every month, even webinars. Let's discuss these issues, understand the concerns of the population, how we can streamline these technologies, these innovations, to benefit all of us. Don't just sit and try to control and feel like, yeah, I'm important. No. You know what I mean? If that's how the Department of Defense was doing in the US, I don't think we would have had the internet and so many technologies. We wouldn't have it. They were more collaborative with the industry, you know what I mean? And they do the prototype, and they allow private sector to drive it. And today we have all these innovations lying here. What are they doing? And when you crack the innovation, then now they want to show you that, we are here. Come and pay this, come and pay that. Like, you don't even have labs for me to test anything. You don't have any infrastructure for me to test anything. We're in this country, you have to put things on AWS in the US. So anytime you want to access content on eCampus, you are paying 4 times more for data because the thing is not here in Ghana, it's in the US or Ireland. What's the point? Yet we have NITA. Can't NITA build something like AWS? So that we localize the content that is meant for the Ghanaian market here, and the content that is meant for the Dakar or Senegal market is also on their version of NITA. Why are we doing this to ourselves? Yet you say we have what? Regulated. So what are you doing? So I want them to be of more of that.
More about collaboration.
More about
rather
collaboration.
than control.
Try to understand where we are heading. Create avenues for us to have these conversations with you. All right? Have infrastructure where we can come and experiment our future. So you see and say, no, we can't approve this future. You don't have any of that. And I've invested thousands and millions of dollars into an innovation, and I've gone to market. Then 6 months down the line, say I should shut down. Are you kidding me? I'll pay my way out of it. You see, then what value and benefit did that bring to the country? So yes, we need them, but I think they should repurpose from being a control freak to a collaboration freak. That will help them.
That was my last question, sir. Thanks for coming through, Cecil. Really appreciate it.